essentially what we're looking at is a break of this 26,800, sends us down to 25,000. And 25 will be a monster support. So again, that would be where you would start to potentially flip into a long position on Bitcoin. Now, again, us not breaking above 30,500 and confirming, to me, still tells me that we're still in a bear market. So you just want to be overall careful, but I do expect major support around 25,000.
Gareth Soloway is a well-respected financial market strategist and trader known for his technical analysis skills and disciplined trading approach. He has shared his views on Bitcoin, which has recently seen a surge in value. Soloway believes that the ongoing stock market decline could have a spillover effect on the cryptocurrency market. He expects a recession to impact the performance of stocks and other risk assets, projecting a drop in the S&P 500 in the coming months. While Soloway is bullish about Bitcoin's long-term prospects, he considers $30,500 to be a significant psychological level and remains cautious until Bitcoin stays above $30,000. He analyzes the charts to determine whether the bull market is back in Bitcoin but remains favorably inclined towards a bear market until Bitcoin's value remains above $30,000. Recently, Soloway criticized Bitcoin's previous support at the $30,500 level, tweeting that a collapse from this level was expected due to major resistance. As Bitcoin's value hovers around the $28,000 mark, many holders may feel the urge to take profits given this level's significance as a break-even point. Recently, the cryptocurrency's price experienced a downturn after hitting a high of $31,000 in mid-April, leading to a new phase of correction. Soloway has warned that a breakdown below $26,750 could push the price down to a 50% retracement level of $25,000. The Federal Open Market Committee's meeting minutes from March suggest that a mild recession may occur in the U.S. later this year. However, Soloway believes that the recession could be more severe than anticipated.
Bitcoin is that 30,500 level, right? So if you can get above that and confirm, that was the psychological level here that kind of denoted the 2021 lows, right? Where we had that big dip right down to 30,000-ish, give or take. So again, that would have been a key break point we can see right here. So on a technical basis, that's kind of what I'm looking at. And that's one of the reasons why I expected the market to push us back down on Bitcoin. Now, looking at like the CAC and various other indices, I think number one, you have the US markets that are more likely to be in a bear market that will continue to see selling. You have some issues there in Europe. They're still coming out of some things. But overall, the bottom line is, let's keep in mind that the Federal Reserve has said that we're going to have a recession in the second half of the year. Yes, they said mild, but Rand, you remember transitory, right? So they said transitory, and look at what we got. They tell me mild recession. Right away, my mind jumping to probably at least a medium depth recession. And then you have other players like Warren Buffett coming out saying that year over year, one of his retailers' sales were down in the last month 22%. So the consumer is stopping their spending, and that's going to create a recession. So risk assets are wildly mispriced here, and they're going to target this year of 3,300 on the S&P 500, and I also have a downside target for the next year of below 3,000. A recession in this situation could actually be much, much worse. The main issue with that is that how does the Fed lower interest rates aggressively with inflation still north of 2%, right? I mean, we're still talking 4, 5, 6% inflation. Now, if it gets down sub 3, maybe they have some wiggle room, but we're not at that point yet. So to me, that's a very scary thing. And stocks and crypto have to be very aware that the Fed may be somewhat handcuffed here if we do hit a recession. And then the big question is, if we get into a recession, how do we get out? Does the global markets, do they know how to get out of a recession without the Fed printing money? And if the Fed can't print money, do we get in this long-term recession that could be very rough on stocks as well as risk assets like Bitcoin?
The cryptocurrency's value has dropped significantly after reaching an all-time high of $69,000. Gareth Soloway views this negative divergence as a worrying trend. However, he believes that Bitcoin will soon find major support at the $25,000 level, which he considers a significant pivot point on the chart. Despite this, some crypto investors remain optimistic about Bitcoin's future, pointing to the upcoming halving event as a potential catalyst for a significant price rally. The halving event is expected to reduce the rewards for Bitcoin miners by 50%, which some investors believe could lead to increased demand for the cryptocurrency and drive its value upwards.
Bottom line is the 25,000 is just a major pivot point on the chart, right? You had this kind of blip right here. We had the big dip down to this moving average, and then we had the run up where we stalled right there and finally broke up. So that now becomes a big target area of 25,000. But really, if you look down here, I mean, you're talking about getting down to that same moving average as a possibility in the not too distant future. And I do think that, if you look at the froth, and I said this, and you kind of mentioned it, how you were saying about liquidity in the market, how much leverage is in the market. Think about how bullish the global crypto markets have been. It was very reminiscent to me of when you had crypto at 69,000, that bullish bias in the markets, yet we were here at 30,000. To me, that's a negative divergence, and that's something that we have to be very scared.
FMBC's forecast suggests that a potential rate hike in May could signal the end of the current cycle of interest rate increases by the Federal. In a press conference following the FOMC's March meeting, Fed Chair Jerome Powell stated that a pause in rate hikes is not unexpected, and emphasized the need for policies that can bring inflation down to 2%. Investors and traders are always looking for strong financial results from companies, as good earnings can positively impact stock prices. Recent economic developments, including Powell's comments, the Consumer Price Index report, and signs of cooling inflation, suggest that the streak of rate hikes may be over for the foreseeable future.
Here. And the reason the market wants good earnings is that the market realizes with inflation where it is, the Fed only has limited abilities to lower rates. And so if you see earnings falling off a cliff, that's going to mean, we're heading towards a recession. The Fed cannot loosen that quickly. Remember, the Fed is priced to actually hike rates in about 9 days for their next meeting. So again, what are they going to all of a sudden start dropping rates with inflation still at 5 or 6%? I just don't see it. So if you start to see really a crack in earnings, it could mean not just a mild recession, as the Fed has said, but actually a worse recession, which again, with the Fed's inability to print money and get us out of it because of inflation, that could be really, really bad. Is if inflation can get back below or right around 2%, that gives the Fed the wiggle room to be able to lower rates and maybe print money in the future. Up here, they can't do it. I mean, just the bottom line is, we could see a bad situation with the economy. What are they going to do? Print money and then send inflation to 25%? I mean, we're going to be the next Venezuela. That's not going to happen. So you do not want a recession in the near term here with inflation.
Gareth Soloway, a financial market strategist, noted that historically, Bitcoin's value has decreased alongside the stock market during economic downturns. In the event of significant losses in the S&P 500 index, there is likely to be selling pressure on Bitcoin, resulting in its value declining. However, Soloway believes that while Bitcoin's value may initially decrease due to a recession and potential stock market sell-off, it will ultimately recover and continue to grow in the long term. Some investors, on the other hand, believe that the limited supply of 21 million Bitcoin coins will increase its value as demand for alternative assets rises to combat high inflation. Do share your thoughts on Gareth Soloway's perspective about the impact of a coming recession on risk assets and the stock market in the comments section below. For more daily dose crypto news, check out these 2 awesome videos on your screen. Click now and we will see you on the next video.